We're going to talk about what has happened in Ukraine on this day of the Russian invasion. We'll examine the actions and the strategies, both military and political. Now, if this is your first time watching, my name is Darren Gertis. I'm a professor who's built multiple leadership programs at Charleston Southern University. So we'll also view these events through the lens of leadership. And I also wrote a book about Zelensky called I Need Ammunition, Not a Ride, and you can find it on Amazon. Okay, it is day 115. Here's what's going on in Ukraine. So Russia's still moving forward, meter by meter. They are slowly but surely taking Severodonetsk. It is a very difficult slog. According to the Institute for the Study of War, they've made marginal gains, but they are making small gains. Um, but it is also coming at a cost. So the ISW said, look, they're getting some progress, but it's a cost of concentrating all their available forces to this small area, and that's going to be tricky for them later on. They've also intercepted calls on June 17th and 18th, that's today and yesterday, in which Russian soldiers complained, and I'm quoting now, in which Russian soldiers complained about frontline conditions, poor equipment, and overall lack of personnel. One soldier claimed that units have been largely drained of personnel and that certain battalion tactical groups have only 10 to 15 troops remaining in service. Now, understand that a battalion tactical group has upwards of 100 people in it. So if there's only 10 to 15 troops remaining in service, you understand what kind of bloodbath that has been. Okay, the Russians also have claimed that they would allow civilians to pass through humanitarian corridors, but they will only allow them to pass through not out into Ukraine, but into the occupied Luhansk region. I think it's Svatova. I don't know how to pronounce that. But they're a little reluctant. One, they don't necessarily trust the corridor, and two, they don't want to go into an occupied territory. They want to get away into freedom. Zelensky visited Mykolaiv in the south. It's roughly 20 miles from the front lines. It's a city that is right on the edge of where the fighting has been. And he toured the city, awarded medals, posed for pictures with his men, posted a video on his Telegram, talking about how brave his men are and that we'll definitely hold out and we'll definitely win. He also said, quote, "We will not give away the South to anyone. We will return everything that's ours, and the sea will be Ukrainian and safe." Now that's a big statement and they want to landlock Ukraine and make it, if they can't have it, they want to make it as hard for Ukraine to function as possible. He also visited a hospital in Odessa. He talked to wounded servicemen, presented state awards, including honorary military titles on medics. And he told them this, and I thought this was great, quote, "You are also on the front line, saving our lives, helping wounded servicemen, helping civilians. You are carrying out a great mission, saving the lives of our people every day." I thought that was great. I mean, think about this. If you're in a war, did it matter if you were in the D-Day invasion or if you were fighting in Italy or fighting in the air over Romania or fighting in the Pacific? No, wherever you are in the war, you're fighting in the war and you're valuable. And he was communicating that to these people. There are three U.S. Veterans that are serving in Ukraine that were apparently captured by the Russians. Two of them were shown on Russian state television today, and the whereabouts of the third is still unknown. Now, this has been a story that's been developing all week, and Biden confirmed that he had been briefed about this a couple of days ago, and his reply to a reporter when asked about it was, "Well, we don't know where they are, but I want to reiterate, Americans should not be going to the Ukraine now." I mean, I don't even have the words to say how bad that statement was, as opposed to, and by the way, Russia, if you do anything to one of our American servicemen, it's on, or some equivalent statement that, especially in light of what happened to the British servicemen a couple of weeks ago, they got death sentences by a Moscow court. Okay, in other news, NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg said that we must prepare for the fact that it could take years. We must not let up in support of Ukraine. And others, Boris Johnson was also saying things about like, look, we got to be in for the long haul. And the Russians are in for the long haul. If you look at what they have done historically, like in Chechnya, they're in it for a long haul. So we got to be prepared for that. In supporting Ukraine, Lithuania continues to punch above its weight. I just love the Lithuanians in this. They banned rail transport of sanctioned goods to Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad is this little patch of Russia that like. If you look at a map of Russia, you'll see that there's this little thing that says Russia. It's over on the other side of Lithuania and Poland on the Black Sea, and it's not uh, attached to Russia. Well, it's something that they got after World War II. It was part of Germany that Germany lost, and nobody really wanted it. The Poles didn't want it. The Lithuanians didn't want it because the people living there weren't Lithuanians or Polish. And so they were like, well, what are we going to do with it? But they cut it off. So just like just like Ukrainian wheat had to go overland from Poland into the sea in order to get out into the harbor, now Kaliningrad has to ship, instead of going right through rail to Belarus or Russia, through Lithuania. Instead of going the most direct way, they have to now get into the Baltic and ship all the way around to St. Petersburg. And good on you, Lithuania, for being proactive yet again. I highly doubt that Poland will welcome Kaliningrad either, because Lithuania and Poland have been two of the most hawkish pro-Ukrainian countries on planet Earth. All right, that's it for today, Saturday, day 115. Hey, if this video was helpful, hit like to help others find it in YouTube's algorithm. Subscribe so that you can stay informed. And one more thing, if you are moved to contribute to the humanitarian aid for Ukraine, I have a link below for Samaritan's Purse. If you want to give, be sure to give only to reputable organizations. There's a lot of scammers out there. Thanks for your time.